Let's talk about digital minimalism. This is actually a topic that gets me really excited because look, we live in a digital world. I think that's old news at this point. And I personally see digital spaces as an extension to our physical ones. We spend, half of our time online, on our computers, on our phones, just like minimalism in real life, if you will. I find that removing the distractions and streamlining processes, you can get so much more done. You can be so much more focused. So today I'm starting a new series precisely on this topic. It's really simple. I'm going to walk you through my system, the system I've got here, starting with your email. Okay, so the goal here is really simple. We want to have the clearest, least stressful experience possible in our inboxes, in our email, right? What's the least stressful we can make it? Well, what if there were no emails? Which I know sounds crazy, but bear with me. All right, welcome to my inbox. As you can see here, there is no new emails. This is a concept known as Inbox Zero. It's a concept that was developed by a guy named Merlin Mann. And I want to break down how I'm able to do this into two parts. The first is the system that I use, and the second is the tools that help me to be able to do this. So let's take a look, first of all, at the sidebar. As you can see, there aren't a lot of logos here, a lot of icons here. I've pared it down to only the things that I really need. This is really easily customizable in the settings. Google lets you configure things how you like. So as you can see, I have my inbox, I have starred, which I'm going to explain in a little bit, sent, drafts, and then my folders, okay? I've boringly named it folders. You can call this whatever you want. The way you create folders is by, if you hit more and go down to the bottom, creating a new label. That's Google's way of saying folder. You can create a folder and name it whatever you like, and you can also nest folders within other folders. So what I've done is create a single top-level folder that contains everything else within it. Some people might think that's a little excessive, which is fair enough. Pick and choose the info that you want to use and implement for yourself. But I find that it's a really great way to keep everything looking really nice and clean. Within folders are four major categories, if you will, which I've separated first by numbers in the order that I want to see them, and also by color. Let me explain what these labels are. It is my belief that no matter who you are, because your life is obviously not going to look like mine, but no matter who you are, you can probably divide your life into 3 or 4 major categories. So for you, it might be, I don't know, school, career, and personal. So the way I sort of break things down is Nathaniel Drew is my presence online, the stuff that I do on YouTube, etc. Work is the stuff that I do as a freelancer, as a filmmaker and photographer, and how I make money, although I'm trying to transition that from this to this. And then personal, which is everything that doesn't really fit into these two. So it could be emails with friends, emails with family, and finally archives, which is past emails from previous years. I break Nathaniel Drew down into income and expenses, which I think is very important to track, brand-related emails, and support, which is emails with viewers and questions that I receive, and sometimes people will email me with encouragement, and I love to keep all of that in one place. It's very valuable to me. Same sort of concept for work. I break it down into current projects and shoots. Personal is broken down into future travels, and spiritual, which is really funny. Spiritual emails. And finally, if I open up archives, you will find the same 3 labels here that contain emails from past years. So I recently just transitioned everything over as 2019 started, as well as another folder which includes money-related emails. Always lives in the archives section. One thing that I find very helpful is to color code everything within these top-level folders as the same color. So everything under Nathaniel Drew is blue. And for example, if I were to open up an email within one of these folders, you will find that there's a really convenient and helpful label up at the top here that shows me within which folder this email is stored, as well as the color. And you very quickly are able to associate, oh yeah, blue, that has to do with YouTube and the stuff that I'm doing online. And so if you're one of those kinds of people, I certainly find that colors and visuals help me to organize my thoughts and my life in general. Again, I'm not too concerned about breaking things down super specifically because your life is going to look different than mine, but I have found that you don't need a ton of sublabels, and it's really, really important to be super specific. You almost have to approach this as if you're gonna be gone for an entire decade, right? Stranded on a an island, and you come back all of a sudden, and you have to be able to understand the structure you laid out for yourself. You are not going to remember what emails were in vaguely named folders like random, other, miscellaneous. All right, so let's talk about some of the tools that help me be able to maintain a system like this. First of all is this convenient little feature, starred. If you don't see the star here, you can easily configure that in the settings. And I use this feature to remove important emails that I can't quite archive just yet into another folder that is in my inbox. All right, so the next tool is the just general archive button. So if I open up this email, again, I believe this can be configured in the settings. This archive button, it's a way to remove the email without trashing it, so you still have it. It archives it into a general archive folder. So you still have access to it. However, you're not going to find it in any of your folders, and you're not going to find it in your inbox, for example. This is a really useful tool for emails that don't easily fit into any particular category, but you also don't want to get rid of them. And finally, this is maybe a little bit obvious to some of you guys, but it's still a really powerful tool, is the search bar. The search bar is the only reason I feel comfortable archiving all of my emails in the way that I do, because it's such an effective tool that I use to be able to find any emails that I need. You can use it to search words that were in the email that you're looking for, the subject line, the email address, the name of the person you were emailing. It's a great way to find anything that you need, and it has always worked whenever I've needed it. So I just want to talk a little bit now about habits and how you can make this happen. Obviously it can be really overwhelming. I've seen some people's emails and it's just chaos. 8,000, 12,000 emails. That's not a good environment to be clear and concise. First of all, I would say start by going straight to the source. So if you can put a little bit of time every day towards unsubscribing to newsletters and other promotions and stuff like that that you don't need or want, over time you will see that you will be receiving a lot less email in your inbox. And I do this all the time. I just unsubscribed from the mailing list for Uber Eats, but in Spanish. Like, I don't even know why I had those emails. There you go, I found it. Eliminar suscripción. Unsubscribe. Perfect. Updated. Let's clear that up. So unsubscribing is the first thing. The second is maintaining this doesn't really actually take a lot of time. I find that a few minutes in the morning and then a few minutes in the afternoon or evening is enough to really keep things super clean. And once you get into the rhythm of doing that, it can actually get a lot easier to stay on top of things. It's also probably not a great idea to be on your email all day long anyway. So I find that this helps me to do what I need to get done and spend less time in my email. All right, I hope that that was helpful to you. Like I said, doing this sort of thing really felt like it had a positive impact on my clarity and focus. So I'd love to hear if you guys implement this at all, how it goes for you. If you're interested in seeing more content like this, keep your eyes peeled because, like I said, this is part 1 in a series that I'll be releasing over the next few weeks. And there's actually already an episode available exclusively on my Patreon, which is a great way to support me and to help me create more videos like this. So there's a link down below. Go check it out if that interests you. Otherwise, subscribe so that you are notified when the other episodes in this series come out. And finally, I just had to mention this. I do have a newsletter, so if you're looking for ways to fill up your inbox with the right kind of stuff, there's a link to that down below as well. All right, that is enough from me. I will see you soon.